Right, okay, I've got the washers for the Krell K. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 washers. And they're very, very small. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just aim this down a bit. Now you can see this is the Krell K. So you've got to just take out that. And as I say, these washers are very, very small. Not quite sure that's in or not. I just haven't got the right light. But what I don't want to do is nick it. Maybe I should put it on the stem, this stem. I just can't see if it's so small, and I just can't see if it's seated. Maybe I need a brighter torch. Where's my torch? Oh, okay, that's bright. Even with this I can't see. Just makes your eyes go blurry. No, it's not in. Putting a washer in, it should be quite simple, shouldn't it? I can see it, I think. Yeah, that's got it. Okay, so I can put that back in the rifle and try it out. As I say, these washers, look how small they are. So it must be a common fault if they sell 8 washers. I think they worked out to £4. Got it off eBay. Right, see you later. Right, okay, I'm just in the shed. I'm just going to test this valve out, see if it holds air, because I may not have had it in the right place, that little washer. So let's see what I can do. Okay, this is the oh dear me. Well, at the moment it's going up very, very slowly. I said I tried putting a male adapter, you know, the ordinary across the male adapter, but the thread size is different, so you've got to use a curl one all the time. It's a bit of a shame really, because it'd be nice nice to have it universal, isn't it? Well, it's going into the green now, so it's taken what, 5 minutes at the moment? Yeah, about 5 minutes. I'm not quite sure how big this air tube is, but normally it takes quicker, it's normally quicker than this. Almost finished now. All I can do now is leave it overnight and see how it is. I don't know where I'll put the stopper. Oh, here. Yeah. I'll put that out there. Well, a little bit of gob on there. Don't know if you can see it, but there's no bubbles, so it looks like it's done it. I'll have to, as I say, leave it overnight and see how this goes. And that spray what I just put on was silicone, just to help the rings. Oh. Yeah, as I say, you can see the gauge, so it's got 200 bar, and I'll check that. I'll recheck it in the morning to see if it's held out. It looks like at the moment it has, So that's the Krell K. As I say, the amount of washes you get 8 washes for £4, so I imagine it has to be a common fault with the Krell, with that leakage. Whether it is or not, I don't know. But anyway, that's another video. See you later on. Bye. Right, good morning. I've read all the comments, and I can't reply because, as I said yesterday, my keyboard is not working. Unless you just want a number 1 or number 9 come up as a reply, you know what I mean? Anyway, Yorkshire air guns. Okay. You could either call me. My telephone number is at the top of the page, and also my email. Yeah, just call me and or send me a text message with your address. You know what I mean? This is the spring 1.4, 18mm inside diameter. What I did, I stretched it to about 60 millimeters. It's 50. Okay. So yeah, of course I'll send that to you straight away. So that makes now 7 because I've already taken one out. I had 9. I've taken one out for myself for a spare. That's for Yorkshire air guns, and I've got 7 left. Yeah, I found a big difference. Also, Stufo, I think that's how you pronounce it. He sent a link from to another YouTuber showing about the transfer port. You know, I mean, okay, the guy put a 1.7 transfer port in, and it made it worse. This is what I said before about transfer ports and that. You know, it's always best to leave them alone and muck about really with your hammer spring and maybe your regulator. One of the comments said about clipping. It might, you know, when I'm shooting it's clipping, where it's not clipping anywhere on the moderator. The trouble is when you get a shrouded barrel and you tighten that silencer up. I found this out on the Beeman, my 1357. If I over tighten it, it changes the harmonics of the barrel. And these manufacturers don't give you any torque specifications on how tight that silencer has to be onto that shroud. Yeah, so that's a possibility though. You know, it could be, I don't know, too loose or too tight. You know what I mean? As I said, the Beeman was prone for that. You know. Yeah, but every comment. Oh, okay. The grain weight. Okay. Now, so I said, hang on. The grain weight. Yeah. Dave. He said 0.83 grams is 1265 grains. Okay, 1265. Well, I'm not well over the limit then, because that was shooting 12 foot-pounds with a very light pellet. You imagine what if I put in a heavier pellet. So that top hat, what I said weren't working, it must be working, you know what I mean? To get in the high 11s and 12s with a very light pellet. So that top hat works. Although it didn't adjust it down when I tried adjusting it down, it didn't adjust down, you know what I mean? But even so, I'm still pleased with the result I got yesterday. 100 shots. Well, 90. It registered 97 shots. And I took it right down to, what, 6 something foot-pounds. And it was still on target. And when I looked at the air after the shoot, it was just coming up onto the yellow. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, also, after the shoot, I got my O-rings for the filler port for the Crown K, which I fitted in. I have made a video of that, and took it outside, pumped it up, and it took some time pumping up, and I left it overnight, and it's still leaking. Maybe that washer is not sitting properly, but it's taken all night to leak out, so I'm not too worried about that at the moment. I can still shoot it. Once I pump it up, I can still shoot it. Yeah, but it's still leaking, and they're very, very small O-rings. I just about pick them up in my fingers, you know what I mean? But anyway, Yorkshire Air Guns, yeah. Just send me a message with your address, you know, WhatsApp message or text, whatever you want to do, okay? Yeah, so I thank everybody, and for the comments. Yeah, as the guy said on that other, it's well worth, if you go, it's all, I forget what it's called, hang on.
So welcome back.
I'm not quite sure what his channel is, but, Whitney's Adventures. Whitney's Adventures, you know, have a look at him on the Stowe Peak AP100 trial and error. You know, I said about transfer port, you could possibly change the transfer port washer, muck about with your spring and regulator. But yeah, I mean, every time you adjust something, you've got to take the gun apart, you know, and it is, you know, it's a very easy gun to take apart, but everything you try to do, the gun has to be stripped down and readjusted, you know. Maybe not a full strip down, but if you're mucking about with a transfer port, it's just really pouring off your cylinder, you know. But this you would have to take off your stock and your back part, you know. Yeah. It's really hard to say about anything. I mean, my gun was underpowered. That was shooting 9 foot-pounds. That's why I changed the spring. And all I did with that spring, I just pulled it out until... I should have bought the 60mm ones, but I didn't. I bought the 50mm. Now, you can just stretch it out a little bit, maybe to 54mm, 55. If that ups the power well, very good. If not, pull it out to 60mm, you know, and that certainly will up your power. Right, I'm gambling on, and I'll see you later, okay? I'm not quite sure what I'm doing today, but I'll be doing something. I'll post this straight away because I want Yorkshire Airguns to see it, so I can send that off. Okay? See you later. Bye.